very good evening. Much thanks for joining us here on the program and from wherever you're watching. As from this is Lookup News coming to you live from Kenya's capital, Nairobi, and right here from our Lookuptv studios. I'm Nelima, and our sign language interpreter for tonight is Felista Adundo. Do stay with us as we bring you the latest on the stories that are making headlines across all the 47 counties. Before we get into all this business, here are our top stories.
To now pretend and tell us about servers is an insult to our collective intelligence.
Tonight on Lookup News, President William Ruto criticizes Raila Odinga over IEBC server debate. Raila's tenure as AU Special Envoy for Infrastructure comes to an end.
In forming our government, the president can only pick people who believe in him, who believe in his agenda.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua reassures that the government will not work with non-Kenya Kwanza outfits. And court stopped DCI from summoning Matiang'i's lawyer Danstan Omari.
Once more, welcome to the broadcast. The hashtag is Lookup News, and it's coming to you live across all the social media platforms where we are at Lookuptv. The hashtag is Lookup News, and also do let us know where you're watching us from as you follow through with the broadcast for the next few minutes. A day after the Azimio leader Raila Odinga issued a demand to the national government to open the servers to allow an audit into the August 9th presidential elections, President William Ruto has answered Odinga by stating categorically that the IEBC servers have always been open. The head of state now says Mr. Odinga must desist from taking Kenyans for granted and toying with their intelligence, as our reporter Henry Tende now files.
Electoral deceit must end. Servers must be opened and audited, and servers must be opened and audited under auspices of a reputable firm or organization, failure to which we shall lead the people to restore their authority and voice.
This bold statement by opposition leader Raila Odinga during the outfit's prayer rally at Jivanji on Wednesday is not boding well with the head of state, President William Ruto. Now the commander-in-chief has weighed in on the demands made by Raila and stated IEBC servers have remained open throughout the polling process.
I want to tell our friends that the servers have always been open. They were open during the identification. They were open during the voting. They were open during the posting of the results. They were open during the tallying in Bomas. They were open when the results were announced. They were open when the matters went to court. The servers were open when the court determined the election.
President Ruto has read politics in Odinga's demands, terming such demands an insult to the people of Kenya.
To now turn around and pretend that servers to be open at this point in time is to take us for granted, is to believe that there are fools in Kenya.
While dismissing Raila's demands, President Ruto now says Kenyans are an educated lot and will not buy into lies by the opposition brigade.
Is an insult to our collective intelligence, is an insult to our democracy. And I will inform you that there is a big shortage of fools in Kenya. You can fool all the people sometime, and you can fool some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time.
President Ruto's response to Raila comes just hours after the African Union terminated the tenure of Raila Odinga as the African Union Special Envoy Representative for Infrastructure Development. Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
Instead, in some politics, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has today taken a swipe at Raila Odinga, insisting pro-government supporters will get priority in appointments while promising to fight cartels in the milk industry as farmers have been shortchanged by the cartels. Ian Keitani with that story.
Just a day after Raila Odinga fired salvo at Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua regarding his utterances on the government's priorities on appointments,
ya kwamba kila Mkenya ni Mkenya. Hata kama wewe hukupiga kura kwa Azimio, wewe ni Mkenya. Hata kama wewe hukupiga kura yoyote, wewe ni Mkenya. Kwa Kenya, Mkenya ana haki ya kupata huduma kwa serikali. Manake kila Mkenya mkubwa ambaye anafanya kazi anatoa ushuru.
Gachagua has fired back at Odinga, insisting that they will serve Kenyans in general, but those who supported the government will get an upper hand in government appointments.
President William Ruto and I will serve the whole country in matters development. The other day we were in Siaya. Those people did not vote for us. We were in Homa Bay. They did not vote for us. We are working for the whole country because the people of Kenya pay taxes. But in forming our government, the president can only pick people who believe in him, who believe in his agenda, who believe in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
Speaking during a funeral in Murang'a County, Gachagua took a swipe at Azimio la Umoja leaders for trashing the Kenya Kwanza manifesto.
Tunang'ang'ana kwa sababu tumekuta uchumi umeharibika, Kenya hakuna. Tunang'ang'ana, tunatuomba mtupatie nafasi. Lakini mwambie hawa, msiuzie William Ruto uoga. William Ruto na mimi hapana watoto ya Serarak wale mumezoea kuuzia uoga. Msituuzie uoga.
He also alleged that Odinga took part in embezzlement of public funds while in government after the handshake, including COVID-19 funds, as well as skyrocketing of food prices.
Jaribu kumuuzia rais wetu uoga. Ati wakitutisha, wakitupigia makelele, ati wataenda maandamano, ati unga iteremuke, ati nini. Sasa hao wazee walikuwa kwa serikali ya handshake. Wakaharibu Kenya, unga ikatoka 140 ikapanda mpaka 230. Walikuwa pale. Pesa ya corona ikaibiwa bilioni 10. Walikuwa hapo.
With the debate surrounding food prices taking shape, the second in command has voted to fight milk cartels in the country, insisting that milk farmers must get their rightful share.
Sasa tumepata nafasi ya kufanyia watu ya Kenya kazi. Watu ya Kenya watajaji sisi. They'll say whether we know what we are doing or not. Your opinion is not necessary, and we don't bother about it because we know who pays you. Kama sasa ile ya kahawa na majani chai na maziwa. Kwanza mtu ya maziwa ndio nalipa hiyo hata ya magazeti. Si mnajua cartel ile mtu ya maziwa? Si mnamjua? Na ni mimi na hawa hii watu wanaiba pesa ya maziwa. In another 3 months mtaanza kuuza maziwa mzuri. Hiyo cartel tumesema tunajua ni wapi. My eye is on the ball. I am focused. Na ni mimi na nyinyi. Hii pesa ya wakulima hii mnakula hii mtawachana naye. Mumekula siku mingi pesa ya wakulima.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Now, Azimio leader Raila Odinga has been relieved of his duty by the African Union as the High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa. In a letter dated 19 February 2023, African Union Chairperson Musa Faki Mahamat told Odinga that his exceptional leadership and unique command has been crucial in leveraging the infrastructure agenda in the continent. On his part, Odinga has replied with a letter indicating that he had expressed his challenges of continued availability 3 weeks ago and has thanked the AU for the swift response. And after matter security, 2 bandits have been arrested and 23 firearms recovered in Samburu and Turkana counties following the ongoing operation to weed out bandits in the Rift Valley region. The Regional Commissioner, Rift Valley, Abdi Hassan, while addressing media on Thursday, affirmed that the National Police Service has braced for the exercise of restoring peace in the region after the expiry of the 3-day amnesty period for the illegal firearm holders to surrender. The government will, however, continue to receive individuals willing to yield and surrender the illegal firearms.
They have been forced to live like wild animals, constantly on the move in search of security. Security is no longer a right they enjoy anymore, forcing security personnel to dive into the banditry-prone contiguous zones after the expiry of the 3-day amnesty period for the illegal firearm holders to surrender. Addressing media on Thursday, Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Abdi Hassan assured it's all systems go in the fight to restore peace in the Rift Valley counties that are most affected.
General situation as at now is calm, we are safe and secure. The only incident that we had was yesterday in Kainuk, where bandits attempted to raid police and also attack members of KDF.
So far, 2 bandits have been arrested and 23 firearms recovered in Samburu and Turkana counties following the ongoing operation to weed out bandits in the Rift Valley region. This is after armed bandits attempted an attack on a police camp in Turkana on Wednesday evening in a clear show of defiance against government directive.
Anybody who dares security agencies with such impunity and audacity will be met with lethal force that they will regret for a long time to come. We are giving them an opportunity to surrender voluntarily, not to force the government to go into the other phase, which may not be palatable to them. So we are still appealing to them that there is time for them to surrender voluntarily.
The joint military and police operation dubbed Angamiza Uhalifu kicked off last week after establishment of a structured command to ensure officers from the National Police Service who are leading the operation work well with the KDF soldiers.
This particular exercise, the National Police Service is the lead agency. They are the ones leading the operation. The military will come in only to supplement or complement the National Police Service in a number of areas which I may not be able to declare here. We are only after criminals, after bandits. Law-abiding citizens will not be affected, will not be targeted, will not be harassed.
During the past operations, bandits have taken advantage of the knowledge on the region's terrain against security officers, with some displaying military-grade weapons illegally acquired. It's now a race against time for the security personnel to curb the unending banditry attacks that have continued to wreak havoc in the Rift Valley region. Cecilia Lubanga, Lookuptv.
And in the corridors of justice, the Milimani Court has this morning issued conservatory orders barring the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, from opening a criminal probe on lawyer Danson Omari. In a case filed by his lawyer Hussein Mwai, the court has also stopped DCI from recommending prosecution, arresting and questioning him on the circumstances surrounding the alleged raid of former CS Fred Matiang'i's home. Additionally, the court has directed lawyer Omari not to appear before DCI for questioning. Lawyer Omari had been summoned to appear before DCI today. His case will now come up for hearing on the 8th of next month.
It is our belief that the notice is meant to intimidate, threaten and prevent him from discharging his duties as an advocate and an officer of the court. Lawyers in Kenya have been intimidated in the recent past by external forces that attempt to limit the right to representation and expression. We are outraged and apprehensive about the environment in which Kenyan lawyers have to practice. The advocate's security is now in question, as the body which is meant to work with the lawyers in dispensation of justice is now exerting undue pressure to frustrate the existing client-advocate relationship between the said advocate and his client. The alleged offenses, as highlighted in the notice, have been used as tactics to cause the advocate to execute his duty to the client in fear and trepidation. We strongly condemn the actions taken by the DCI in attempting to curtail the advocates' freedom of expression as provided under Article 19 of the Constitution of Kenya.
It's an illegal invitation, as we call it, where Mr. Dansan Omari was called or invited to the DCI offices to record a statement over...
And now let's keep up with the drought status in the country. It is a sad sight in El Bisil boarding primary school as parents queue with pupils for lunch as drought hit hard in Kajiado Central. These parents and the elders line up as others scramble for rejected grains sorted from maize and beans just to have a meal for the day. Abigail Shearer with more of that story.
The pain of seeing the breadwinner of a family line up for food in a school is enough evidence of the ravages of drought. It is even worse to see the elderly scramble for reject grains in the grain sorting area of the school without an iota of shame just to have a meal for the night. That is the case at El Bisil Boarding Primary School in Kajiado County, where parents flock in daily to request a plate of food, at least to quench their hunger. When they walk to this school, they don't even realize how hard it is to even provide for the students, since it is also a struggle for parents to pay school fees following the economic state of the country. The head teacher of this school explains the problem to come later if this continues.
Hii hatujapokea chakula yote kutoka kwa wafadhili. Kwa hivyo hii ration hata tunapatia the scholars ina threaten inaleta changamoto kwa boarding, maana itaisha kabla ya siku. Na hata saa hii fees wazazi hawalipi fees. Tumetegemea low cost ya serikali. Na ndio tu tumetumia kununua chakula na labda kulipa watu na maji na stima.
As Ann Santila explains, the situation has gotten out of hand as all their cattle succumbed to the drought and they are now left with no choice but to beg, queue and scramble for food.
Ama hakuna chakula nyumbani, anakufa ng'ombe, mbuzi amekufa, punda, hakuna kanyumba kitu yote. Hakuna ninya anafaa nguo, hata viatu, hata watoto ya shule anakaa nyumbani, hakuna chakula. Yuko ni kirangazi na fije sana.
It is even sad that teachers cannot chase these elders away, knowing well the situation at hand. As Jared Kenyo explains, they had to look for ways to control this situation.
Wakati wa kupepeta kitabu tulikuwa tunapepeta asubuhi na mapema. Lakini sasa tumehairisha kwa sababu wanajua wakati wa kupepetwa watapata ile mahindi na maharagwe waweze kuokota waende wapikie watoto nyumbani.
The sadness that hit a nerve at the sight and confession of Mr. Sandira Sialala only leaves one request to the government to do something and curb this drought problem.
Kujaga shule kutafuta chakula kwa sababu njaa imezidi, ng'ombe meisha, jua imezidi, badala ya kwenda kuiba inakuja kula na watoto.
As the economy continues to rise, putting food on the table has become a luxury that only those who are fortunate enough can afford. The situation in this county is among the few that are seen, while there are many more that are yet to be unfolded if nothing is done to rescue these families. Abigail Shearer, Lookuptv.
And that story by Abigail Shearer takes us to a very fast break here on the program. But when we come back, there's so much more on the business front as well as in the sporting world. Don't go too far.
Hata chakula tu hakuna nyote nakula. Asa
They live in caves,
ini shida tu.
leading miserable lives.
Baridi kwa watoto, hata watoto wangu wanaumia, wao wanakohoa, hata pia mimi mwenyewe naumia.
Poverty stricken, and as children enjoy education and quality healthcare in the country, to them that's a story they only hear about.
Asa mimi naomba tu ningepata mwenye ananirudisha shule niendelee na masomo ingekuwa vizuri.
Their plea is for the government to come to their rescue.
Tunaomba tu serikali ongetusaidia tunasi tukitoka kwa nyumba. Hata tukipata tu mahali pa nyumba tu peke yake. Mahali tunafunga tu mlango. Hata tukitoka tukienda kutafuta chenye tunakula.
This Saturday,
mahali unaenda natakiwa pesa na hakuna.
We give you a story beyond normal life of a community living in the caves right at the heart of Mount Elgon. only on Lookuptv.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Welcome back. This is Lookup News. Women MPs have vowed to support President William Ruto's constitutional amendment bill. Speaking during the Kenya's Women Parliamentary Association KEWOPA, they asked their fellow legislators in Parliament and Senate to pass the bill. Shadrack Karina reports.
President William Ruto's constitutional amendment proposals have continued to attract attention from different stakeholders in the country, with each party pushing for what will serve its interest. While speaking during the Kenya Women Parliamentary Forum, the women MPs derived from both political affiliations defended Ruto's bid to amend the constitution to enhance two-thirds gender rule, vowing to back the bill before the chambers of the bicameral House of the Parliament.
We must increase women's leadership, and we must continue to push for spaces that amplify the voices of women. We have the goodwill. Why should we not leverage in that goodwill? Why should we not be at the forefront in leveraging on the goodwill that we already have?
The National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, who was among the chief guests, made a commitment to fully support the women.
And I only promised Harriet when she invited me to this forum that I'll be here, if not to say anything else, to give you my highest assurance that as leader of majority, I will do anything and everything within my power to mobilize my male colleagues, to talk to our female colleagues, to ensure that we do actualize this two-thirds gender rule.
Being the sixth attempt to amend the constitution to ensure two-thirds gender rule, Ichung'wah assured the women that the majority will ensure this time the bill says through.
If we were to do what we were proposing way back in 2013 to have the two-thirds gender rule in a progressive manner and have the affirmative action over a period of about 20 years, those 20 years are almost lapsing and we are yet to start. It therefore tells us that we must do everything within our powers today to ensure that we implement this two-thirds gender rule in this assembly.
On his part, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Gladys Bos-Shulei, narrated some challenges faced by women in leadership. He asked the women to work together to ensure that the two-thirds gender role campaign meets its target.
I seek all of your support that when it does come before that particular committee for the public hearings, do show up in numbers. Even the women members of Parliament, we can attend that committee meeting as friends of that committee.
In the next 2 weeks, we want to have a conversation with the street family. Are you seeing that? We want to begin here in Nairobi. Those street children, those street young people, those street women, we want to go and sit with them.
Shadrack Karina, Lookuptv.
Let's now head over to the counties. A land dispute has arisen in Mariakani, where over 11,000-acre piece of land between the residents and the KDF after the residents demanded for compensation and relocation from the government that was promised to them 30 years ago. Phoebe Wangombe with that and more.
More than 1,000 households living on a disputed 11,000-acre parcel of land in Mariakani, Kilifi County now demand compensation and relocation from the government, as was supposedly promised to them 30 years ago. They say that the government asked them to relocate so as to enable them to build an army barracks in the area and promised to get each of them 12 acres of land in the Maragini sub-county.
Mimi nimeenda mpeleka nyanyangu Kilifi akapewa 600. 600 hizo akaambiwa ni tikiti kwa sababu hiyo majeshi ndio ilikuwa inaanza kuingia hapa. Makasema hiyo ni tikiti, murudi mkangoje mutapelekwa Magarini kulilinuliwa kila mmoja ekaze 12 alafu mpelekwe huko Magarini.
And in Shinyalu constituency, 24-year-old Henry Angusu has been arrested by the police for distraction. The middle-aged man is believed to have destroyed more than 50 bananas and threatening to kill his brother Kelvin Mohati with claims of not being given his share of a piece of land. This forced his brother to lock himself in the house till the police officers came to his rescue.
Ingia kwa boma na banga, akaanza kukatakata vitu akitishia maisha ya watu. Huku majirani wakikuja kwa mbio. Venye majirani walikuja akaanza kuwatorosha, bara akaniingisha kwa nyumba, nikakaa kwa nyumba, akaanza akatoka akaniambia ataniua.
Meanwhile in Watamu, Kilifi County, property worth millions has been reduced to ashes after being ravaged by a huge fire that began at Mbuyu Lodge and later on spreading to Barracuda Resort and another neighboring hotel. This has left some of the tourists injured as they tried to escape the fire.
Around 3 hours ago, more or less, from Mbuyu, the restaurant that we have here in Watamu, most probably from the kitchen is starting a fire, and this fire is affecting the first roof of our bungalows.
Phoebe Wangombe, Lookuptv.
Now let's talk business. Finance solutions provider Sanlam Kenya has committed a donation of 21.1 million shillings for improving the infrastructure facilities in 3 schools located in Kitui and Nyeri counties. Sanlam Kenya Group CEO Dr. Nyamemba Tumbo has affirmed Sanlam's commitment to improving access to quality education for Kenyan students, improving the learning environment for over 700 students. Erinja Mokora with our story.
The initiative, which is a partnership between Sanlam Kenya and World Vision Kenya, will facilitate construction and renovation of classes at Kalatine Primary School and Kakululo Secondary School in Mwingi, Kitui County, and Birisha Primary School in Mwega, Nyeri County. The project is dubbed Sanlam Kenya Secondary School Project, a Sanlam group-wide initiative through which the group promotes quality education in Africa.
Is to launch the Sanlam Kenya Schools Project. This project is actually aimed at helping or supporting government to build infrastructure that can support learning. Our vision is to make sure that there are facilities for our children to learn under a conducive environment.
Elsewhere in Bungoma County, more than 100 poultry farmers have undergone training from pharmaceutical company Medicel on how to fight diseases affecting their poultry so that they may grow to maturity and benefit the farmers.
Changamoto kwa wakati huu ni kuna drought generally. Na bei ya mahindi si mnajua iko juu sana, na mahindi ni kama 60%. Kutengeneza chakula ya kuku mahindi ni kama 60%. Na bei iko juu sana. Hiyo ndio changamoto kubwa sana ambayo wakulima wanapata.
Kuna symptoms ambazo hujaelewa ni ugonjwa gani, so unapata kuku zinakufa. Unaona mmoja imekuwa mgonjwa, umejaribu kuzipea maybe hiyo dawa ya kutibu, but huwezi jua ni ugonjwa gani.
Edwin John Mokora, Lookuptv.
And from business, we now head over to some sporting action. And in sports, aspirants in the forthcoming Sports Journalists Association of Kenya Awards expressed their concerns ahead of the association elections scheduled in March. The aspirants have accused the current leadership on poor flow of information.
mtangazaji maarufu anaonekana kwenye runinga kila siku, na yule mtangazaji ambaye anatoka katika kituo cha mashinani. Wote wako sawa katika kazi ambao wanafanya. Wote wanafaa kuwa na usemi katika chama cha wanahabari wa michezo nchini Kenya. Mwandishi katika gazeti ambalo ni maarufu nchini Kenya na waandishi wa mablogu wote pia wako sawa na wanafaa kutambulika na umuhimu wao kujulikana katika taifa letu la Kenya. Kwa ufupi, haya ndio mabadiliko ambayo tunataka kuleta katika SJAC.